Syria's civil war has caused more than 500,000 people to die. Now, with American troops pulling out of Syria, what will become of the Golan Heights? A new move by Senator Ted Cruz is trying to make sure that the United States will recognize Ramat Golan, the Golan Heights. What do you feel about that, Hagit?
They will recognize it as part of Israel, you mean?
Recognize part of Israel.
I think it's not conducive at all, not to the state of Israel and not to the stability of the region, because we need to keep the chances for peace open. And recognizing the Golan as part of Israel is not going to serve that. Although we can say practically that a peace deal today is not on the table because of the civil war. But in the future, we will need to find a way to compromise with our neighbors.
I'm not sure I could disagree more. I think in this craziness of the Middle East, Israel is an island of stability. And right now what we see Iranian forces and Turkish forces trying to come to our border. I would really not want to see these violent, crazy radicals on the border on the Kinneret, the Sea of the Kinneret, the Galilee Sea. I am very happy that we have a sovereign entity, our sovereign entity, Israel, in the Golan Heights. I think it's the American interest to make sure that the world recognizes the Golan Heights as part of Israel, because it's the only part in this region that stays the same, that has civil rights and human rights, and is enabling people to live and prosper.
Of course, I'm happy that the Americans support Israel, but I think that unfortunately the threats that Israel is facing has not so much to do with another 40 kilometers of land, of soil in the north. The threats are of rockets, which cover all the land of Israel, and the 40 kilometers of the Golan are not stopping it or changing it. However, a peace deal could be a game changer, and therefore it could be, and we saw it with Egypt, for instance, that even after Mubarak was taken down and the Muslim Brotherhood took power, they did not break the laws or break the peace deal, and continued to try to stop the ISIS from attacking Israel. So I think peace deal is the very best way to make yourself more secure.
So the issue is this: we didn't have a peace deal with Syria, and it was our most peaceful border. If you want to create peace, you have to have someone on the other side. Right now you have Iran, who is trying to build a second Lebanon within Syria.
That's what I want to say, that what Syria had with us was a very, very violent border, and they did it through Hezbollah in Lebanon.
So you want to increase Hezbollah into Syria?
I want to say that if we had an agreement with Syria before, maybe we would have had a different Lebanon and a different involvement of Iran in our region.
Or ISIS on our border, or we would have ISIS on our border, or Iran on our border. And if we will not make sure that Iran is not using their proxies, be it Assad or be it Hezbollah, right on our border, we will be facing Iran directly. And I'm not sure that the citizens of Israel would be so happy with that.
Exactly. So you need to get your neighbors to have interests that will go against Iran and not in favor of Iran. And making peace with them is one of the things that
With Iran?
No, with the Syrians.
With Assad?
I'm saying today Syria is not a state that we can find an agreement, as still they have this war ongoing.
So why would you want to have peace with them?
I'm saying that it's an Israeli interest to have.
Everyone wants peace. Peace with whom? With ISIS, with Iran, with Hezbollah, with Assad. All of these people that I just mentioned are horrible. And what happens now is
the fact that they are horrible doesn't mean that you should not make peace with them.
I disagree with you. They're saying they want to kill all the Jews, and you're saying let's meet them halfway. I cannot accept this.
But you don't need to meet them halfway. I'm talking about making peace with those entities that can be our allies,
Which entity?
such as states, such as
Which state?
Syria that was before the civil war, and hopefully Syria that will be after the civil
With
war.
Assad, who murdered 500,000
Listen.
people of his own citizens. This is the person you want to have a peace treaty with.
I'm not choosing my enemies, and I'm not happy with how they deal with their countries. But I don't want them to fight with me, and that's the Israeli interest here.
I agree. I also don't want them to fight with me, but because they're fighting, I want to make sure I'm stronger and I can defend myself. And
Exactly.
I have to say,
I want us to be strong.
It's Israel's interest to maintain the Golan Heights because it has a topographical advantage, and I think it's an American interest to make sure that Israel still controls the Golan Heights, and I think it will eventually be a world interest. Israel is I think it's one of the only